Strawn and I am the program assistant for Rural Student Project. I am a biochemistry major, and what I have learned from working here at Sanchez Farms is the importance of farm worker awareness and what they do on a daily basis.
Hello, my name is Brenda Ramos and I am a chemical engineering major and an RSP student. And working at Sanchez Farms has mainly taught me of the importance of having a rural space and the impact that this rural space has had in the community's mental health and the development of social and independence skills through growing our own food.
Hello, my name is Malay Cisneros and I'm a secondary education major. I'm also a part of the Rural Student Project, and being out here in the garden, it has taught me to love nature a lot more and just to enjoy being outdoors. Also in times of stress, it's really awesome to be out here working with plants and learning about planting seeds.
Hi, my name is Brenda Elias and my major is sociology. One thing that I learned about volunteering at Sanchez Farms is to appreciate more where organic food comes from. I think people take for granted the fact that it takes a lot of time and attention and dedication to be able to grow organic crops, and we don't really think about where our food comes from, but I think working at Sanchez Farms has really helped me gain that insight and has even inspired me to want to grow a garden on my own.
Hi, my name is Levi Studeville and I am an elementary education major. Something that I've learned from the Sanchez farm is just to relax, because it's just really relaxing going out and working for a couple of hours instead of just being at home and on the computer, especially with now. But yeah, relaxing is something I've learned here.
Hi, my name is Amavelis Baca. I'm a junior in civil engineering, and at the farm I spent a lot of time breaking apart pallets, and through that I learned patience and perseverance.
Thank you so much for joining us for our interview with Mary Mays, the Lobo Garden Coordinator.
So, what is your name, program of study, and how did you get involved with Lobo Gardens?
Yeah, so my name is Mary Mays, M-A-Y-S. I am a landscape architecture graduate student here at UNM, but actually work directly for University College. I had seen info about Lobo Gardens around campus just being a student, and one day my school's administrator sent us a job posting for this job. And I thought, that's cool, I'm gonna apply. That's how I got involved. A simple job posting that was spread around campus and some general knowledge. But I will say that my background, what qualified me for this job, is not only my program of study, but I actually have background in agriculture. I worked for a small-scale organic vegetable grower here in Albuquerque. I already kind of love gardening and love foods.
Do you think Lobo Gardens program encourages participation of farm workers, students, and or students that have farm worker parents?
You know, I'm not honestly sure. Obviously with you guys, but I think, we have kind of like a community gardening approach, and in that sense I would say all are welcome. So I think it doesn't necessarily matter if you come from a farming family or if you have gardening experience. I think everybody's welcome in this space, and that's certainly what we like to contribute to. I don't know if there are any programs specifically tailored to people with a farm background. So in that sense, I would say no, we don't. Except for what Isabel is trying to set up with you guys right now, right? But I think it's important because, again, like we were talking about the differences between like sort of urban gardening and rural gardening. I think that there's knowledge and experience that can be contributed back and forth between both of those sort of like communities. So I would say it's a welcome addition.
It's important to include such students in these types of programs, and why?
I do. I think difficult in some ways to sort of like acclimate to a more urban lifestyle. I know for me at least, I've lived in sort of urban and rural areas, and it's always a transition. And I think also those types of students that come from farming backgrounds have a lot of knowledge, that they can share with the community, share with this UNM community, and sort of bring to people who maybe aren't as familiar with growing food, aren't as familiar with natural cycles. I feel like kids that grow up on farms, they really have ingrained in their identity just sort of like earth sciences work. Even if you've never taken an earth science class, you see it every day as these cycles are happening right in front of you. So I think it's important not only to give them a little bit of familiarity and to say like, hey, we grow food in urban areas too, but also, the knowledge goes both ways. The positivity from this experience, I think, goes both ways.
What do you think is an effective catalyst in nurturing the awareness of the average farm worker that has cultivated and harvested the foods immediately available to us today?
Yeah, That is a really good question. I think just general awareness and education, but also I think from my personal perspective, there is this obvious disconnect between us and our food, and therefore the people that grow our food, that cook our food, that kill our food, package our food, that drive our food across the country. I think like every sort of aspect of that chain is really invisible to your everyday person. The first idea that comes to my mind is like it's the grocery store and it's bright orange packaging. But I think just the ability to manifest these systems here on campus, where we have such an opportunity for outreach, we have such a huge community. Being able to show these processes, even in this very small capacity, is a good first step to take, to just say, hey, like, you can grow your own tomatoes in a pot in your backyard. Every bit of food that you grow yourself is shedding light on that system that we've been covering up for about 100 years now, at least in our country. I think like the exposure, the opportunity, just the fact that this little place exists does help with that, and it certainly has the potential, and it gave me an immediate appreciation to what they do. For me personally, that gave me just this immediate awareness of, wow, food is as diverse as the people that grow it, and we try and get rid of that diversity in our food system, right? But it exists inherently. That's why you have ugly apples in the grocery store, right? And I think that, when I did start farming full time 6 years ago, that sort of experience was completely eye-opening. When I wake up in the morning and I write in my little guided journal and it says, what are you grateful for? I say, I'm drinking my coffee, and I say coffee farmers. I know, even though I've never grown coffee, I've never understood, I don't know what it's like to harvest coffee, but I know what it's like to harvest radishes, and there's enough of a correlation there that I can find that solidarity with that coffee farmer or with that dairy farmer, as I'm pouring my half and half, or with that sugar farmer as I'm putting that sugar in my coffee, to say, like, I am thankful, like I am directly thankful for these people. But I think that even the simplest act of growing your own tomato and eating it fresh off the vine is one of the most eye-opening experiences a human being can have. And I think that I think that human beings are primed for that, It's written in our DNA to have those positive experiences. And I think that anybody who engages with food in that capacity will, at the very least, have more of an understanding and more empathy for the plant, for the food. And I think that once you start that journey, I mean, the obvious finish line for that journey is the farm worker, because it's the commodity, right? The farm workers themselves are commodities. It's not just the wheat and the corn, it's the people themselves, or the animals sometimes. I think that the education naturally unfolds once you start.
Just from a scale from 1 to 10, how familiar would you say that you know about farm worker awareness?
I would say anywhere from 5 to 10, honestly. I would say when I'm at my best, it's going to be a 9 or a 10. And on my average day, when I'm not at my best, it's going to be a 5 or a 6, honestly, because I actually have had that experience. And I do kind of work in that capacity, even in this strict, limited university way right now. But I would say, had I not had the experience of working on a farm, I would probably say like 5 to 7. But I'm someone that has actively engaged with food my whole life. Food is sort of just like one slice of the ecological pie. And I think that, there are a lot of natural systems that just growing food relies on, and it's also those systems in general I'm really interested in.
You could just let us know, like, how to reach you.
This location that we are currently at is at campus in Vassar. We are directly adjacent to the dorms, and we're behind the real estate development building, which is building 140. We're basically at the intersection of campus and Girard. You can email me. I'm generally not available on Sundays. You can also find us if you look in the catalog and you look for an LG class, usually in a university college department. My particular department is called Community Engaged Research and Learning, so it's CELR. And if you search for CELR classes, or if you search for LG classes, you will find a class that actively works in this garden. And we have the Lobo Garden Club, which you can find through SAC, Student Organization.